There we go. We Don,
Yes,
guess
sir.
what? Welcome to 2025.
Indeed, sir. Happy New Year to you.
Man, the new year started off. It started off wonderful, and believe it or not, it been. I think we've been gone too long.
It's gone too long.
We was gone too long, man. So I'm trying to go live, and guess what I didn't do?
What's that?
Hit the go live button. I
If
didn't
it
hit
ain't
the
live,
go
it ain't
live
me.
button.
I hear you.
But we back for we back for the 2025. You
Yes, we are.
know,
We indeed back.
and one of the things we're gonna do 25 in 25 is be better. We're gonna be better at what we did
Always.
before and prepare to be better for next year.
We're gonna work smarter and not harder. We're gonna make this thing happen.
You know something, Don? That's bullshit.
That's not bullshit.
That's
It's not
bullshit.
bullshit. It's not. It's
What?
not, man.
I can give me your reason. I explain mine.
The reason is you work smarter because you always try to find ways to improve upon yourself. So if you continue the same, I'm gonna get out here and farm the fields. You never get to where you can have someone else farming the fields for you because you're now elevating your game mind and you're putting yourself on another plateau to set yourself up for success so that you can now cover more surface area and not just focus on one thing. So we're going to work smarter. I am going to work smarter. That's the game plan for 2025.
Okay, I like that. I think we should work smarter and harder.
Well, you're always going to be working hard if you
All
ain't the
right, then
man.
we work smarter and harder.
Always,
Make that smarter go a long ways, and make that harder
indeed,
go longer. I
always,
think we should work smarter and harder because
indeed,
everything
sir.
we do to succeed needs that strong hard work. I don't care how smart you are, you need some work behind it.
Yeah,
It may not be physical, but we can put that work behind it.
you got to put that work in, man.
So everybody, welcome back to Date Affirm the Real. I am Marcus Goodwin, your host, and my co-host, Mr. Don Junior Lilly himself.
Indeed.
And with Date Affirm the Real, we like to keep it positive. We talk about relationships. We gonna get rid of all the stigmas or negatives. We gonna talk about communication, healing, everything we need to make ourselves better and what we do. One of the things we're gonna make sure we focus on, not just the love of others, but self-love. We need to do everything to make us better than we was in 2024. Now, with that being said, everything we say is our opinions. These are our experiences. These are our thoughts. And this is how we want to communicate to you. I love to invite anybody who disagree with us in the chat. Talk to us. We just love smooth adult dialogue. This is dialogue. This is open communication. We're not here to hate on each other. We're not here to tear anybody down. We're building a community of uplifting, positivity, and doing everything we can to make each other better.
Indeed. In other words, what he's saying is, if you want that smoke, bring it because we're gonna light that fire.
All right, hey, but fires keep you warm, brother. So do me a favor, real quick, Don. Tell me what
Yes,
the
sir.
title is.
The title of tonight's topic is listening versus fixing, understanding what women need during tough conversations.
Right on. So we actually talked about this topic a little bit briefly when we met about a week ago, and me and my wife talked about this.
Mhm.
And this is actually something that's really dear to me. And I'm gonna be very transparent when I talk about this one because I believe a lot of men go through this issue in these steps. That's indicated in the title. We are actually part of the reason why men are from Venus and women are from Mars, or over how that goes. And what we're going to try to do is get that spaceship to go between the planets.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk to you about this because I personally need help with this one.
Okay.
I struggle. And when we on this platform, as we talk, I start realizing things about myself. Maybe some things I need to implement.
Okay.
Maybe because I'm saying it out loud. Maybe because I'm saying it out loud to another guy,
Yeah.
and somebody who may relate. But by the end of the show, I want to be better than I was an hour previously.
Agreed. Yes, sir. So let's make that happen.
All right. So go ahead. Let's start off, Don. Let's talk about it.
All right. So tonight's show topic is listening versus fixing. Understanding what women need during tough conversations. So researching this, as Marcus said, we talked about this briefly, and we wanted to get some talking points around when having a conversation with your loved one within a relationship, listening versus fixing the problem that's being described to you. So we're going to start with part one, the nature of listening versus fixing. What is the difference between active listening and problem solving during conversations?
All right. One of my biggest flaws is communication, and I know it is better than it was before, but it's nowhere near where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna me and Babe had the discussion last night, and she had to point some shit out to me, even in my assholeness.
Yeah.
Um, even I um when when I get fixated on something, trying to be a fixer, there's a lot of times I don't hear what she actually is saying to me, and or she'll say something else to me, and I get I just knock it out my head because I get fixated on a fix,
Hmm.
and I don't listen, or
Yeah.
I think I'm listening. In my mind, I'm listening. Who's that? Heather? In my mind, but no, in my mind, I think I'm listening. And I'm thinking I'm doing everything. I'm thinking like,
Mhm.
and so then it's like, what's the problem? She said, "You're not listening. You didn't hear me. I heard you. What did I just say? What did I say with that?" So you know how I say women nitpick.
Yeah.
Apparently I'm nitpicking what I want to hear.
Selective hearing. We've been doing this, man, since we were probably 5 years old when your mom said, I told you to get in the house 2 hours ago, and you running around in the yard act like you didn't hear her.
That's
We,
you. I was a good child.
again, do have selective hearing, and we do see through a conversation to try to get to the end point. Now, we're going to talk about why that is, but we're going to start off the conversation by discussing active listening versus problem solving. Now, if my man, good man Marcus here got the definitions going, we can throw them up. If not, I can just go
Oh,
ahead and read.
go ahead and spread it because
All right.
I
So,
didn't think about definition like.
listening, to start off the conversation, is a communication skill that involves paying close attention to what someone is saying and then responding in the way that shows your understanding. So, listening to the conversation from beginning to end and not picking out certain words or hearing a different conversation than what has been said. So, you're basically showing your attention. You are in tune in at the moment and letting this person know that no other situation matters more than what you're saying at this time.
Right. So real quick, before we dive too deep in that, this is good. So Diggs, Mr. DJ himself, says
Yes,
men are naturally hardwired to provide solutions.
correct.
Right?
And we're going to cover that as to why that is, because definitely there is a science to that as to why men are hardwired to solve situations.
Right. And so what I'm getting at is how we starting off this conversation.
Mhm.
How we all are in a lot. All men are probably in alignment with this, or a
Yeah,
lot of men are in alignment with this, but it's not in alignment of the man woman or woman man, and that's what we try. I'm watching this bridge developed. That's why I wanted to point that out. Go for it, Don.
yeah. So the next problem solving, which is the second part, is problem solving is the process of overcoming obstacles to achieve a goal, and not necessarily in a conversation you need to problem solve or fix the situation. You just want to ensure that you're active listening to the conversation, and if we are required to provide a solution, then we have to find out how. And when we do that, it's going to be discussed further. But the next subject is, why do men often feel compelled to fix problems during tough conversations. And one of the notes I wrote out to Marcus is what make men tick. As Mr. J. Diggs said here, we are hardwired to provide solutions. So if you look at that, that what makes us tick. We're always fixing something. You may be a good mechanic, you may be good at computers, technology, you may be good in the yard. We are hardwired to try to resolve an issue because that's what makes us going. So now we have to take a step back and realize that that's not always the game plan that needs to be put on display, and we need to try to active listening to get a full understanding from our mate.
You're right, because we always say we're hardwired. We're
Mm-hmm.
hardwired. We're not robots. I think we are trained, or we've seen the examples. That could be. I think that's part of the problem. You
Let me make a
know,
note here.
we learn from previous generations. You know, as our fellow co-hosts say, them generational traumas. I'm not
Mhm.
honestly considered trauma, but it's a issue that's being passed on, that we pass on from one to one to one. Because I don't think there's a chromosome that says,
No,
"Man, go fix it."
it's not. But if you what you not to interrupt you, but you said
Mm.
we're not hardwired because we're not robots, but based on our DNA component, there is not a genome, but you grew up watching your dad, you grew up watching your uncles, you grew up watching your grandfather. He go out there and fish. This is how you hook the bait. You go out there and change the tire. This is how you change the tire. You go out there and mow the yard. This is how you start the mower. This is how you fix this light bulb. So we're necessarily not hardwired from birth, but we are wired through our experiences in life, and this is based on biological and social conditioning. If we grew up around those who we admire and they teach us things, then in itself it can be conditioned to see our value in our actions and solutions, right? Baby, I just
Or
did that. I just went out there. You went out there to the car and popped the hood and fixed mama's alternator. If you had never been showed how to fix the alternator, you wouldn't know what you doing out there. You'd be like, man, I'm just throwing my hands up.
right. So it's crazy because we've been taught to take care of it.
And they want
We
us to take
all,
care of
and then now this is I'm playing devil's advocate.
it. Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, we also as a man we being praised, or we just go ahead and take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
But now if we don't listen, we're screwing up.
Exactly.
Take care of it and don't listen, or get selective hearing and fix what you want to fix.
Exactly.
You know, it's and as I'm speaking about this, I want to apologize to my wife because I do it and she has to point it out to me. But I also don't want to pull so far back and don't take care of things with that he's been taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Because that because I at that point I can jeopardize the leadership position.
Mm. Wow. That's deep there, man.
Yeah, so leadership means taking responsibility for your mistakes. Leadership also means understanding that you're going to make mistakes and you're not perfect, but know how to accept them and move forward. I have a long way to go. I have a hell of a long way to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I want to talk about this one.
Yeah, no problem. Mr. J. Diggs has a comment here. It says most men understand the assignment, but having a difficult time expressing an emotional response. And I think that goes to his first comment as to how men are hardwired per se. Just for lack of other words, we have no problem going in and say, I can fix this, I can make this happen. But then trying to go back and put that in emotional response, not just a response, an emotional response, which you're tuned in with your partner, is quite difficult at times. Because we can talk BS with the guys all day long, right? But we're not providing any emotion. We're just talking, like they say, shooting the shit. But now you go home to your lady and you got to provide emotional response when you're may not necessarily be active listening to the conversation to understand what she is needing at that moment. And that in itself is what we're trying to discuss to find a way to resolve that problem. not necessarily a problem, but to resolve the conversation so that we are showing empathy during the moment.
Right. So we're just trying to get understanding.
Hmm.
That's all we need. We just understanding what's going on. All right. So real quick, Babe says a lot of words. Go for it, Don.
There also has to be effective communication. I love the fixing, but when I don't need that, I need to hear that's all. Give me the freedom to fix what I can and just be a listening ear at all. And this is a good segue because my next point of conversation is what are the indicators that someone needs empathy rather than solutions? Because men and women often approach conversations differently. And this is the perfect example. Men want to fix, women want to be heard, or in this situation want to at least ensure that you're hearing what is being stated. So this is a perfect segue to try to cover this in this situation.
Okay. Before we go into, let's get this comment. She has a follow up.
Wow. Women learn to nag. It doesn't mean I should nag. I have to listen to my spouse and be thoughtful to what his needs are and not say what I was taught to nag. Just an example.
He's like,
Interesting.
yeah, and no, that's right. Like one thing about being a fixer, I'm learning to do is not be always be a fixer or man of action.
Yeah.
There's times like I explained to her one time. There's times I literally have to fight my urge to jump in to do something.
Yeah.
This is nothing against them. It's nothing against me. It's just the urge. Um, and she explained it to me quite nicely. She was like, "It can make me feel like you think I'm not capable."
Hmm.
Is and that's where confusion comes in. I believe my woman is more than capable.
Yeah.
I'm just, it's just the urge, and it could be something simple, but I need to learn. Um, Hell, I'm a gadget guy. I'm a techie. If I do see you something happen with something with a gadget, I need to learn to let you learn that you try and figure it out. Because this is what I was thinking about. If I always jump to fix everything, even though I know you're capable of it,
Hmm.
what the fuck do you do when I ain't around?
Hmm.
If I'm trying to fix everything, if I ain't around, how are you going to get it to fix? How you get it done? By
Inter-
stepping back, letting you fix instead of me fix, because you're capable. It should give me comfort when I'm not around. You can handle it.
Interesting. Now, Marcus, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, in this situation or scenario, you're talking about fixing as in something physical. And if that's incorrect, please
Yeah, it could be.
clarify.
Yeah. Fixing to me is physical
Okay.
or even non tangible like things.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I wanted to dive deep into, as we continue rolling on here, understanding women's emotional needs, because how do emotional needs differ from practical needs in tough conversations? And it's pertaining to listening versus fixing. So if we're having a conversation with a lady, not necessarily she's telling you to go fix the kitchen sink, but there may be some detail she's providing, and she just want to get our active listening approach to, and then decipher at the end of the conversation if we wanted to provide feedback, because that's one thing that I also tend to struggle with, because women often look for acknowledgement and validation over immediate solutions. So if my lady approached me with a conversation and such, I'm already looking for a solution to that, and it's not necessarily she needs a solution. She, I just want you to listen. But I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
if I'm listening, are you asking for my opinion, or you just want me to listen? And if I listen and don't respond, then she said you're not responding to let me know that you're listening. So that in itself is kind of confusing for a man because we can active listening, but I'm trying to determine where should I insert myself for a response because I don't want to fix it. I just want to respond in a way that makes sure is understand that I am listening. But if I don't provide the correct response, then it could cause more abrasion. So this is a good point.
Yeah. So I run into that as well. And my part of my selective hearing and Swiss cheese memory is
Swiss
she
cheese.
told me before. Maybe I just asked her. Should I say, "Hey, do you want me to? Do you want me to just listen, or do you want me to respond?" Maybe that's the key. I need if I listen to her and remember that maybe I can fix.
Mr. J. Diggs has a good response here. If you can put that on the screen. Sometimes the solution is to let her do the fixing, but be there as a man to catch her in case she falls. And I
Hmm.
think that may be pertaining to actual physical exertion or some sort. Again, fixing doesn't necessarily be you got to go and plug up a light bulb, but it could be something within a conversation that she just needs to talk it out. Sometimes we can talk it out, and then within the conversation, we can find our solution as to how we approach the situation.
Right.
Good.
So let me take that off screen. So, with that being said, this is where I wish Shamika was around. I Darth therapist, and with her wisdom,
Okay.
and she's like she does one things like like a reflective listening technique she had taught me one time,
Hmm.
and and what it is just a reverb or a repeat of what your other person is saying.
Yeah,
Not only does by doing that, it allows you to listen, but it also makes me hear it twice, and it also allows you to get clarity of what's actually needed at that moment.
I agree. Because
I and I need to start implementing that. You know, not in that sarcastic way, because I do my in my not so genuine way. It may come across as me being funny,
I got you.
but I need to start. That was one of the tools that she shows.
You're right. So again, we're right on cue here, Marcus, because this goes to my next point of topic. What specific cues can help men identify when to simply listen? Emotional connections outweigh practical problem solving during moments of vulnerability. So just as you just said here, I had it marked. You're repeating the question or the phrase that's being provided so you can create a point of clarity so you can determine when to insert your response by getting uh, acknowledgement from your partner.
Yeah, and
It shows
I
in
think I think so fast sometimes. I don't
hmm
know if anybody ever may have never noticed. My speech is kind of stutterish and fast. Often my brain works that way. So I'm not seeing a future. I'm making a future. And what I mean by that is when she's talking to me, I'm putting words in her head that I think she should be coming out her mouth.
Hmm. That's good.
Yeah. So I'm predicting I think she's going to say, which is wrong. Because if I could predict what she's going to say, I could predict the lottery numbers.
Hey, man, you don't have no problems, right? But you're right because it's like how can we as men ask the right question, right? So creating a prediction of conversational topic with techniques like paraphrasing. Do you want advice or just want to hear you out? You created that clarity so that you are providing open-ended questions, which continues to explore the feelings of the conversation. So you're not just shutting it off and giving a one-word response to "I'll handle it" or "I'll take care of it." It's not always that simple. It's more of just the understanding, as Cigar Chronicles poet indicated here. It shows interest and attention and active
Yeah,
listening. Yeah.
you know, because we when we trying to just listen,
Hmm.
I believe we sometimes get mono faced.
Yeah.
When I mean my mono faced, we're trying to show you that we're listening, that we're not giving any kind to facial response. We're just giving you what we think is just our undivided attention, which may come across as you're not there,
Hmm. Yeah.
and not knowing how to respond in the moments where they just need us to listen.
Yeah.
It may cause a confusion because that is exactly what I do. I'll be like, because I'm really trying to focus on what you're saying
Hmm.
and not trying to do my normal stuff as to predict what you're going to say or not jump in and try to fix a solution. And it's like it's suppressing a urge that's been instilled, or the pattern that's been around, in my case, 40 something years. Shout out to 40 and over TikTok. But anyway,
I have a I have a monkey wrench I'm gonna throw into this conversation.
talk to me.
Try to throw it off topic. This is part of the additional notes you might have seen there. It says, would age, family status, or even a man's emotional status play a role in how we listen versus fixing? And the reason I say that is I'm going to start with one that I hadn't included, a situational. And what I mean by that is you, me, any other guys having a bad day at work, and we're coming home. They got cut off on the road. We're driving home. We're mad because the boss chewed us out, and we get home in a bad mood, and yet we have to have a active listening conversation with our lady. So what we try to do is we try to decompress, and before we can decompress, we're going to try to fix it to try to cut the conversation off so that we can relax. Not saying that's an excuse. However, that can play into how we may address the situation conversational wise, right? Because you come home on a bad day, you ain't trying to hear nothing. Yeah, whatever. I'll take care of it, right? Without even listening to what she has to say. Situational that can play into how we listen and fixing. And also, I put this in there that may not hold any water, but it's like, and I'm viewing younger men versus older gentlemen because I'm just viewing this from the eyes of
You
broad
being
brush
old.
here. Like older men may have less tolerance. Not saying that's true, but there may be a situation where they may have less tolerance to have a full blown conversation and just want to be in their own world, their own mind, their own thoughts, and thus try to find a way to fix the problem than listening for the entirety of the conversation. Because they may not have that patience, such would probably be a better word to stay there. The patience to takes to have the active listening.
So, yes and no.
Okay.
First of all, it's like saying you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
That's a broad brush, but yeah, that's definitely a
Yeah. So, yeah,
conversation.
it's a lot of older guys, they're kind of like whatever, they'll brush it off. Am I right? What you're saying? They're not really trying to do all that. They just want to do what they've been doing, correct?
Yeah, yeah, correct.
All right. So, why I think that's wrong and that it
Hmm.
can be changed?
Hmm.
Because them the same ones who do this and don't want to change be the same ones that be sucking their thumb when they by themselves and lonely because they didn't implement the change needed to maintain
Yeah,
a healthy relationship.
There you go.
And
There we-
that's what I'm trying to get to be. I don't want to be 50 something sucking my thumb. I need my wife,
Yeah.
plain and simple. I need to be able to effectively do this. Now, I also want people to know this is not a flick of the wrist or a change. This is a pattern that you established for multiple years. So multiple year pattern does not change overnight,
Mm.
but it changes with effort.
Yes. The
Now
willingness.
I
The willingness.
exactly now as the person who's seeking who willing to have this change or
Mhm.
your spouse or mate, the grace has to be there, but not to the point where it's detrimental. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, they know or they should know it's going to take us time, but they also know I better see some effort, not and that's why and that's one thing that's pinpointed at me. You need change has to be accompanied by effort.
Yeah.
Action needs to be obtained through effort. Your verbal needs to be accompanied by action. Your action need to be accompanied by effort.
Indeed. Mr. J. Diggs says we have to listen. The more information we have, the better chance of providing the right fix. She might only want you to listen, agree, and understand. Problem solved. LOL.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Diggs been is a very knowledgeable guy, wise guy who's on a positive tip, like we all are
Right.
here on the Data Firm the Real.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, we got to make sure we know how to know when it's time for us to fix the problem, or we know
Yeah.
when it's time us just it's our job to listen at the problem.
And that segues to the next segment, improving communication skills. What are actionable ways to practice active listening? One of the tips is give your partner undivided attention. No phones, no distraction, no looking at the game, no TV. And then you respond with empathy first, acknowledging what is being said.
Hmm.
And that's the ultimate sign of respect.
Make sure you put some facial expressions in there because
Yeah.
don't go stone faced like I will.
He'd be like, oh, for real? Oh, no,
Oh,
I'm teasing.
you ain't joking. Go on with your
What happened?
be
like,
talking to your lady, throwing out spirit fingers and whatnot. Don't play. I
he'd
know
be
what you
like
be doing.
Smokey, like, why you got your shirt off? Like, he grab you like this, or was it like this? Oh,
So we need to hold on. Let me
okay,
post this comment real quick.
go ahead.
Boom. I'm getting bad with these fingers. Just
Wow,
doing it. The arthritis come in handy.
Mr. J Diggs, 28 years together, 18 married, training still ongoing. That's salute right there, man.
Man,
Congrats.
congratulations
Yeah.
on the damn near 3 decades.
Mm, that's longevity.
That's longevity.
Yeah.
And when I see them, it's a perfect fit. It's meant to be. It's meant to go together.
Yeah.
You know, like fish and hot sauce.
There you go, man. Some bread. Keep a poor man fed. But let's continue here. What strategies can men use to resist the urge to problem solve prematurely? Because that's one of the things we initially talked about, how we try to fix something. So we're going to avoid interruptions or make it about ourselves unless invited to share our perspective. And then we can emphasize creating a partnership around how issues are discussed. That's very important because even if it's not within your partner, you could be talking to someone and they immediately make the conversation about them, and you sitting there like, how you just interject yourself into my situation? This is not about you at this present time. So
Mm.
we got to avoid interrupting when they're opening up to us at this moment, and they just want us to listen, and we just provide that active listening to show that we care.
You're right, because that word "I" is like a gun. It can protect you or kill you.
Yeah,
Um, when I do it this way, or I think, or I believe,
yeah,
you know, I don't want to, like you said, I don't want to make it about me, and I have a problem doing that. I'm way better. I could because I used to think I didn't do it. Now, what I do, like you said, I do when it's time to listen. I do put my phone up. I don't. I don't let that be a distraction. I can't take the focus of the TV. A lot of times I
yeah,
have to pause it. I have to pause what show I'm watching. Because I need to give that attention because
yeah.
I will get distracted. I'm like a little puppy. Go, was it squirrel?
Hmm.
These are the
Yeah,
things that needs to be incorporated. And like I said, I'm on the low end of doing this correctly.
yeah. But we all got to start somewhere, and the fact that we are contributing to the the positivity of it, it's great because if you don't address what needs to be addressed, as you said, you're going to grow up, you're going to be old, you're going to be single, and you're wondering what the hell happened. And
Yeah. Old single who talking about who can wipe my ass.
well, I don't know about all that, but
Whatever. One
sometimes
thing
you got to get
one of
it.
the things that I'm sorry, I think about that. You know, one of the things I know is gonna happen one day. I don't know, let me rephrase that. I don't that may happen one day when we're older is we're gonna have to lean on each other because we can't do what we used to do. Heaven forbid I was get sick now. Would your wife be willing to do the unthinkable, like clean you, you know, things of
Ooh,
that nature? That's a,
wow.
that to me, that's a good question. Before you marry somebody, ask them that question.
Yeah, because that could either run them off or make them want to stay. I mean, you guys, I don't know when you should ask that question, but if you ask somebody that on the first date, they guarantee you they run it off. They'll be like, "Hey, wait, what?"
Well, no, let them. I mean, let them run
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
because I need to be somewhere with somebody who's gonna give me something that thing that if something was to happen, you're there.
Yeah,
I want to marry for the long haul.
you're correct. Because how does creating a safe space for vulnerability improve communication? Because you have to know that validation does not mean agreement; it means acknowledging someone's emotions. So you want to summarize the importance of listening to understand versus listening to respond. Because as you just said, if
Mm,
you're with your lady and something happens and you got somebody got to wipe your ass, Marcus' words, not mine, will she be there to listen to your needs and not just responding to the situation because it's a detriment or just inconvenience?
exactly. Um,
Fish and spaghetti. Who eats fish and spaghetti?
hey, you don't know what you. Oh, it's a whole nother
That sounds like
conversation.
a sin. That sounds like a sin, man. What's
Man, fish and spaghetti go together.
I don't know about that, man.
That's a whole nother poll because fish go with spaghetti, fish go with grits,
you got
fish
to
go
put
with
a
bread and hot sauce.
you got to put a poll up, man. We're gonna have to vote on that because we're gonna see how many people eat fish and spaghetti. So, Marcus, that's your task. Put a poll up. We're gonna see on Data from the Real who eats fish and spaghetti.
Everybody,
We're gonna see. Put that up.
but you,
Get some eyes on that.
man. I bet you can go Google it. It better come up.
You Google it. Chat GPT.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that fish and spaghetti. Okay, hold on. I got another. Let me get these. Let me get these comments. Go ahead and talk a little bit while I grab these comments, Don.
Well, I had a situation this past week. I was telling Marcus before the show. I was taking some antibiotic medication, and they apparently caused inflammation in my Achilles tendon, which immobilized me for about 5, 6, 7 days. I couldn't walk, in other words. And a big man like me not being able to be mobile is it's an inconvenience. But my lady was able to be there to listen to my needs in my time of needs. But the majority of the time, I was trying to figure out a way to get the inflammation down because the thing was so inflamed. I couldn't touch it, couldn't put any weight on it, couldn't couldn't even rub it against the covers. It was just very uncomfortable. And this is not the first time it's happened to one leg and it's happened to the other. So in that predicament, having someone by your side is most important to help you so that you won't be hobbling around on one leg trying to make it happen. As Marcus says, getting old and sucking your thumb. So
Right. And that comfort that I have or you have, knowing that somebody's around too when your time in need, and listen now, I don't mean jump subjects, but this goes to another thing. We too prideful as men
mm,
sometimes to accept help.
exactly.
You know, then you be looking crazy and want sympathy because your ass was too prideful.
Mm. Yeah, you can't be too prideful. You gotta knock that off, man, and ask for that help, or you're gonna be rolling in agony, which is what I was doing for a couple of days there.
Yeah.
Fish and spaghetti is a bomb. I'm missing out, bro. I'll take your word for it, man. Was it fried fish or some baked fish? What are we talking here?
It's normally fried, but
Uh,
that baker get it too.
Cigar Chronic Poet. I am probably 85% now. Thanks. I do appreciate that. It's funny that I was just hanging out with Marcus Sunday, and then a couple of days later, my Achilles got flamed. So I think he clipped me in the heel or something. I don't know what he was doing, man. He was trying to take me out of commission, but
Hey, don't
he
blame that
tried to
on
take
me.
me out, man.
Hmm.
I'm 85%. I'm not 100 yet. But
Wait a minute, does your lady look at crime TV?
man, you talking
All
about
right then, don't look
Dayline?
at me. I'm stop joking.
I know, right? I wake up dead one day, like, what happened? Yeah.
Hey, so real quick, Don, I think you on the losing the end of this on the fish and
Well,
spaghetti
this
thing.
is this 5, 6, 7 people. We need a poll at least get 100 people so you
It's
can
a
get a
it's a
good.
poll that you missing out.
Okay, somebody said fried here. Okay, I'm gonna try it. Fried fish and spaghetti. I'll make some bomb spaghetti. I damn sure know how to fry some fish. So I'm gonna
All
put the
right
two
then.
together with a slice of bread. We're gonna see what's happening.
I mean, you like well, think about it. You like fish, you like spaghetti. What's the problem?
Yeah, ain't no problem. I just
All
never
right.
actually ate it. Like I actually never heard of it. But so okay.
Just just go for it, man. Don't stop playing them games.
Hey, it'll be snowed in for the next couple of days, so I might have to go ahead and make that right. Can't do nothing else. But
So, but yeah, well, at the end of the day, with this topic, it's going to be ongoing.
it's always we're just opening the door of the conversation so that the communication can continue within your own uh, within your own house or within your own circle. So this is good knowledge for me to even use as a blueprint because yeah, if I hadn't seen it in this entirety, there may be some points that I may have been lacking on. And just always need that reaffirmation that, hey, maybe I'm not doing enough. Because again, we're going to be better in 2025 than we were in 2024.
Right.
Right?
And one of the ways we're going to do it, and this is what, like I said, I'm being transparent because I'm struggling, is that one of the things I have to do, and I recommend everybody do it too, just ask the question to your person. Do you want me to do something about it? Do you want what would you like me? Do you just want me to listen? Do you want me to handle this? And maybe we can get a rapport.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
get a level where a playing field where we know where the goalposts are.
Yeah. There is no cheating or uh, putting out something on the slide to get an upper hand. Because that can be deceitful. You're trying to get the upper hand on your partner, which there's no benefit of doing that, right? No need to one up when you're in the same household.
Hold on. What Diggs talking here? Hold on. Diggs says y'all need to invite
Invite him on the
me on the
show.
show. I
I
can
can give
give
a
a
seasonal marriage
marriage.
perspective.
You ain't saying nothing
Hey,
but a word.
it's on, sir. It's
uh,
on.
Probably in February. Let's look for it in February. Diggs, I got you.
We got a couple more topics coming up here that we're always looking for a third opinion because we write these notes and share amongst each other and get a opinionated view, but they're still on point to what we're trying to discuss overall.
Yeah. So I think Don,
Yes.
I know it's been almost an hour. I think we need to see if anybody out there who's going to do a on the spot question. On
Yeah.
the spot question is I want anybody out there in the audience to ask us a question within the dark, data from the real guidelines. It don't have to be about this topic but any topic that's within the dark guidelines. And Don and I were going to answer it off the dome, honestly and transparently, and give you our thoughts. So
And
why?
be, yeah.
Go ahead, Don. I didn't mean to
Before
cut you
we
off.
get to that, I want to provide a bit of advice going into 2025. This is something I wrote a while back, but I think it can apply to what we're talking about here, which is listening versus fixing. And the quote is: "The world listens because it never sleeps. So use that wisely because we can always learn something by listening to others." And it's always at us at our reach 24/7. Whether it's good or bad, you have to decipher. But the world never sleep. The world listens because it never sleeps. So use that wisely.
Hmm. Yeah, I like that. One of the things that's part of being a fixer is got to real. We think we know everything.
Exactly.
In the grand scheme of things, we don't know Jack. And think about it, even as a fixer, how did we learn to fix stuff or attempt to fix something? We had to listen and learn it from somebody.
Yeah, we have to be taught. You're not
Yeah.
born changing alternators. That by the time you're 15, you better know how to change the tire first. Then you work your way up.
That's a whole nother that's a whole nother topic because there's men out there. Matter of fact, well, I'm gonna say men and women because there's women out there who change tires, but there's men and women who don't even drive, don't own cars, don't even have no desire to.
Yeah.
So what they changing the tire for?
Hey, they call us to fix it. That's what we.
They call AAA.
They call AAA second. They call Tyrone first, but yes. So on the spot segment, we allow our guests to ask questions directly to the host, so the audience can get our direct views and opinions on topics of discussion. So, if something you want to hit Marcus up with, or Junior Lily, please holler up in the comments. We'll try to answer them truthfully, wholeheartedly, and authentically.
Yeah.
That's all we can provide.
And the thing about us, everybody, is we're learning as we go. I want to learn with everybody. We want to learn with everybody. We're trying to improve our everyday life. We're trying to improve the great people that we all are.
Mhm.
As Don was saying, we all need to listen. A man don't listen, don't know shit.
Exactly that part. He's already cut off his source of information by not listening.
You know, I think we need to take a page out of our mates or our spouse's book. We also need to take a page out of our single friends book because being single Also you see things through a different lens. You see it from a third party view, because our single friends are not necessarily blinded by the emotion. They are like almost like an independent judge. And not say they're right or wrong, but it's good to listen.
Yeah, that may
You
be a
know,
reason why they're single. They may just trying to avoid the drama that necessarily doesn't line up with their views.
right,
So some people are single by choice. Some people are single for reasons. So
right. And for
yeah,
those who are not single by choice, we want to be the example of the positive things to do, of how to do it right, how to do it better than the last.
yeah,
Like Dig said, we listen to learn.
yes,
I know when I in this live tonight, I got to go listen. I have to learn to ask the questions. And I'm not saying that's easy. I'm not saying I'm going to do it correctly. I need to shut up or ask, is this time for me to be quiet? We as men, or AKA us as fixers, need to put your hands in your pocket. Stop trying to fix everything, the physical or the intangible. Because guess what? When we try to fix, we try sometimes we try to fix something that's not a problem.
mm,
We try, how they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
there
When
you
we're trying
go.
to fix something that's not a problem, you create more problems. And am doing that.
To create more problems,
Oh yeah, I'll create problems, all man. I'm the motherfucker on paper, but in person, I ain't the best thing in the world.
oh, man.
Yeah, hold on. So let me get a couple responses. See, look,
Okay,
uh,
you
so
coming
Dick
from my
says,
G?
yeah, I'm gonna get one of them over real, cut these over real quick. You know, Diggs, our future guest are here. He
Yeah.
bringing it in, and so sometime by the end of the week, Diggs, I'm gonna shoot you some dates over and see if you can work with them. All right, we'll see what Dick says. Listen, learn her, and she want to learn. She should want to learn you. That is true.
Hmm.
When they're in, a lot of ladies, when they're into you, they'll study you. And that was new. That's something I didn't know until I was 40 some years old. I didn't know how deep they studied you, or I took it for granted.
Oh, now that's interesting.
Yes, just like your lady when your gout was getting down this weekend.
Cow.
She already probably knew, and probably summed up that how what to do to try to make you feel better or ease your comfort. Like
She said,
when
"Take
he
these leaves and leave me the hell alone. Trying to sleep."
wait a minute, that's what she told you. That's what you told
No,
her,
I'm teasing.
right? But think about it though. If she probably it's a good chance if you had said something like that, she probably knew. I'm giving this medicine. He just want to be left alone.
I like trying to fix it. I don't sound like she trying to listen. She trying to be the fixer over here. Listen to me. I'm in pain. Shit.
Yeah,
I need a drink.
we'll
No,
take it. You the man. You supposed to take
yeah.
pain.
No, that's cool though because hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I was growing up in the South. You know, you have to work a lot. the fields and use your hands and hard labor. Like I said, we're going to work harder in 2025. So yeah, you saying so that pain ain't nothing. It definitely lets me know my tolerance level because when you're in pain, there are different levels of pain, and some people may have been shot, some people may have been stabbed, but Achilles tendon, Achilles heel, my God, that pain is probably worse than all of them. You're talking about it feel like you got shot in the leg. That's what it feel like.
Mm.
Man, that thing is inflamed. So yeah, it was like a couple of days like that. But yeah, it feels like you got shot in the leg. So
Yeah, I don't want
okay,
to feel that one.
hey, can't you put on a boot? You can't do nothing. You just gotta let that thing go down before you put a sock on. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about me. So right, I'm here. I am
But hold on.
making a
But she
conversation about me.
but she listened. She listened to what you
Oh,
had to say, using pain and what you think you need to feel better. What are the things that we're not doing?
you're right. You're correct, sir.
All right. So I think tonight was a good night. I think we did got some a better understanding.
Yes.
We already on a good track to do better in 2025 than
Yes.
2024.
We're gonna make 2020. We're gonna turn 2025 around. Cause see, I got a little bit of a Laportier here I'm sipping on. So just like Cat Williams did, the truth finna come out in 2025.
Yeah.
We're finna get these 4 million views, man. I'll be telling the
Let's go and bring them. With that said, you need to like,
truth.
you need to subscribe,
And
you need to
comment.
share these They Affirm the Real podcast, which we're on YouTube. We're on all podcast platforms.
Mhm.
You can catch some highlights on TikTok. So hit
Yes.
that like button and subscribe. Follow us. Tell everybody who we are, what we about. Bring them on in. 2025 is going to be all right.
Indeed. Yes, sir. He is
So,
Marcus, and I am Don Jr. Lilly, and this is Date Affirm the Real.
and we out.